recorded a video and then it just didn't go over very well when I tried to load it in, the pre-market video for the group today. Just the trading community. For some reason, I had problems with it. Anyway, it is August 8th. I'm always asked to look at that. For those that are interested, there will be a link posted for the community. The trading community is only open for another 12 hours. And then I'm shutting it down for an undisclosed period of time. Demand was pretty big. And I like to shut it down, make sure everyone gets acclimated to it. Let's jump right into it. What's going on, Jen? Thoughts on adding ISO for dividend stock? Let me take a look at that. Let me just drop this link in a couple different spots, and then we'll be good to go. And I'll take a look at that. The one thing I will say to you that you're seeing an inordinate amount already is you're seeing a lot of the meme names moving, a lot of meme names moving already. So I would be paying attention to that for sure. I think that's pretty interesting stuff. So I would be putting money there. I mean, that's definitely something that I would be very interested in. So let's just go here and go. A minute. I really want to go over the indexes for the group. And if you can ever find this, just type in coffee and charts, and I'll take you right to it. If you just use that hashtag, I don't think anyone else is really using that on Twitter. But let me get back to this and get into your question. So let's go take a look at this. What's up, Bob? So come on, USOI for dividend stock. So no, I wouldn't go near that. I would run away screaming. Like there's something going on here. You'd have to really dig into what's going on here. You'd have to really dig into that and really look at what's going on out there. There's no other way to say that. So just take a look at it. Hold on one second. I got just one question in the room on LABO, Rickman pre-market, more drug approvals. So the LABU trade, I should probably go over too. I'm sorry, I'm doing 10 different things and I apologize. I'm hyper-focused right now. So I'm back and I'm focused. So you see this level right here? There's something going on here and I don't know enough about this and the dividend and how this is linked. And as someone that worked for Credit Suisse, I'm going to just tell you something. Stuff like this blows up all the time in dealing with them. So I was there for a couple of years and they always had like little storms over things that would just blow up that were supposed to work. And they just didn't work because they were always trying to get an extra edge and just wouldn't put the right criteria in. So be really careful there. Be really careful. I mean, there's so many names, Jen, if you want to buy a dividend. Like, honestly, if you want to buy a dividend, Exxon has never cut their dividend, ever. Exxon never, ever cut their dividend. Even with Valdez, even during the pandemic, never cut their dividend if you're looking for a dividend. If you're not against cigarettes and you just want the dividend and you don't want, it's not a moral issue, to not buy this when it was at $41, you're already up like 7% plus a 7% dividend. Like these are the kinds of names I would look for. Like Philip Morris is not going away. The rest of the world is not going to stop smoking because the US does. It's just not going to happen. So, and oil, people need it. So that's going to work. But I would watch things like, I would not be a buyer of AT&T. I would not be a buyer of Verizon for a dividend. You could look at names like CCI if you're looking for a more stable real estate dividend. But I would not be doing the one you just gave me. I'd be really careful. I can't tell you how many things I've watched that they've come out with that start at like 10 that have gone to like 4, and you can just kind of just be really careful. I mean, really careful. So I know it's long, but I hope that helps. What's up, Bray? So there's so many other names. At Pi 3.1. All right. Making myself laugh. Let's get rid of this. Whoa, that's really impressive. Look at this. I don't even know what they do. That's really impressive. I mean, that's hard to not pay attention to, man. That's just outright just get me in at any price. Look at that reversal right here. I mean, look at that. Like, that is just a perfect megaphone, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, just over and over again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here's your pivot. Boom. Well, that's earnings. So you got to be careful. Then you flip the higher high and then you go. Now you're over. It's really hard to not tell you to be looking at this. I bet you volumes through the roof. Yeah. So your volumes through the roof after those earnings dates, you're probably well over two times regular volume, right? You might have looked at this already. Yeah, you're at like 4. So that's really interesting. Yeah, this could just keep going, man. I mean, look, could you pull back? Yes, but you need to have this on your radar for sure. This definitely needs to be on your radar. It definitely will be on mine. That's a really interesting name. So it's definitely one that I would be looking at for sure. Let's just keep going here. But yeah, I like that a lot. What's up, Stuart? Oh, you're welcome, buddy. You're always welcome to email me. If everyone has questions, like there's the trading room, but if you have questions and they're like personal questions or about a specific position and you just want an opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. Like, I can't give financial advice, but I can talk about what I would do in that situation. And you can take that as an education and information lesson. But just email me here. I'm more than happy. It just takes me a while to get to everybody because it's a one-man stop. Yeah, Matt, that's really interesting. What's up, Debazium? What's up, Bob? Can you cover Sophie? There we are. I know it was somewhere in that list. Sophie. So I really like this. And I'm just going to say, like, I thought they had a great quarter. And I'm not a fan of the company. I'm more a fan of the CEO. You're holding this line. Now, I don't remember why I have that line there, so I'm going to remove it. But I think you're going to be a $10 stock again. I really do. I think you're going to head back to that $10. I don't know when that happens. But if you click off of this, right, you just look at that, you're kind of setting up a flag. You have these dojis, they're kind of hanging around. Your red volume that day was like half of this or 2/3 of that volume, right? Yeah. So you're about like 400, 600. So you're about, you had 1/3 of the selling down. So, and that's important to understand. Like, on your breakout, that volume, that sell volume, nobody's selling. Nobody. So you have buyers there. This was a good quarter. They raised guidance. It was very well done. There's very little to say that was bad about it. I have a ton of resistance above on this name. Tons, man. Let's just look at it. Let's look at that resistance. Go volume by price, and you can just see, like, you're in the middle of everything. Like, you have a little nightmare there. Look, I mean, 400 million shares there, 600 million up at that 10 level. Like, it's not going to be easy, but it could get there. It could get there. I mean, if you look at it this way and realize that, you traded 140 million shares, you'd have to trade like 3 days to get through that amount of level of all those people selling, right? Like, so if you think about it from that perspective, it's a lot. But I do like the name a lot. And I do think eventually it does happen. I just don't think it's going to happen in the time frame that people think it's going to happen, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. So, it's definitely something for me to look at anyway. let's keep going here. And I think I have a banner that I should be putting up. Link in description. There you go. Boom. Who knows how to use this system? I do. There's a free newsletter. It comes out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. There's a link in the description. Simply click on the link. Monday talks about everything that's going to happen for the week. Wednesday's an update on the stocks and indexes that I'm in. And then Friday is a wrap up. I think it's actually very well done, but I'm the one doing it. So I guess I'm going to feel that way. But anyway, I mean, I know for the amount of information I'm putting out there that people are charging like $20 for less and mine's free. So Affirm, listen, your Affirm trade, like that can work on UPST tonight. I'm not a fan of buying that, but I'm just going to, it's not my kind of trade, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work. You follow me? You're breaking out right here. And that's definitely something. Mouse is acting weird. And that's definitely something to be paying attention to. So I really do like this. And I like the way that you are acting. And you have UPST tonight. So like, you're going to move on that. You moved last time on that. And look, I still have a Carvania short. Nobody's going to want to be short Carvania, right? And you're probably going to go again today. So this was an awful, awful quarter, but nobody cares, right? No one cares. They're just squeezing shorts. And you're seeing that pervasive today, right? You're seeing AMC up, GME's getting ready to move. All of a sudden, everybody's got to own Best Buy. So you're seeing some of that. It's becoming pervasive a little bit, right? So just something to think about. Hold on 1 second. And we never dropped that in. Bear with me 1 second. I just realized something that I screwed up. And there was a level. Gotta get really organized here. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. So yeah, YouTube is giving me a hard time today processing the private video for some reason. So I redid it and cut it up a little bit. I like the Affirm, but you got to watch that FIBK. I mean, it's going to move on UPST. It's really that simple. If they come out and they trash the consumer, you're going to have a problem. This is a completely different kind of trade, right? This is a regional bank. Like that's going to work. So, you know, definitely something to think about and go from there. So that's it. Let me just keep going through this list. Okay. I think a lot of these names, man, are going to run up in the earnings. I really think that. Like, you do not want to be short anymore. You know, I very rarely am I doing shorts. We're doing the other stuff. Like we're on the other side of this stuff in the trading room. Like for those that aren't in the trading room, you know, people are watching stuff bid down and they're shorting. We're buying. Like I know there's nothing technical about this, but there was like a net move here on the negative delta was so bad on this that I went long. Right into that. There's nothing technical about that, but it's that kind of market where it looks like you're going to break down, but you're not going to break down. So you got to be really careful with your shorts here. I can't stress that enough. Look, this was last quarter's earnings, right? How'd that go? Not very well, but that doesn't mean that that's what this quarter is going to be. So I think that's really important to, get. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to get over this level, you might go, right? 47.40 you're going to do this morning. I can't imagine wanting to be short anything here. And your earnings are supposed to be when? The 9th? You're going to be short this, and then the next day you're going to go in the CPI and you're going to be short. I mean, that doesn't really seem like, the best idea in the world, does it? Right. So I do think that you could see names like this get a ton of interest. I really do. And, and you're seeing it, you know, you're definitely seeing it. So you just have to realize that like people that are short here, you're going to get smoked. Like if the CPI is decent, if CPI is decent, like in line, anything that's short like this is just going to get absolutely crushed. So because the bet right now is that things are getting better. And the moment that that changes, you'll have an issue, but right now things are getting better. Um, so, just keep that in mind. I think it will run up into earnings. To answer your question, to be very specific, to just give you a blunt answer, yeah. Do I believe that they will drop today? I'm not that smart, man. So I'm not that smart. Here's what I know. Okay. I know I'm picking out a higher high, right, than where I was on Friday, right? So I know I have no more news out that is remotely positive. So the only news I have out that is even kind of positive, right, is that they're talking about this Russian push might be towards annexation. And that's why they're being so aggressive. So I'm not sure I buy that, but they're looking to annex these places and wrap this up, and that's why the market's up. I don't know that to be the case. So I will tell you this: if that starts to come out and this war ends, we will be limit up that day. The market will rip. I think that like I'm very apprehensive here. So in other words, I've got a market that's bidding up like 81 basis points, right? And I'm not really taking out that higher high. Okay. You're kind of just building a flag, a beautiful flag, right? So then you kind of go through the other and go, well, where's this at? Well, I'm right against this. I mean, do you really want to be buying right against resistance? Right? My resistance is 416.80. Where am I? So that's a hard pass for me. But eventually I think it's going to go. But okay, but that's still a hard pass for me. Like I'm selling into this, right? So in other words, like this AMC or this Tesla trade that we did that we're up like 2.5% on, right? I did calls. I think we're up like 100% on the calls off the open. So I hedged this morning by selling stock against the calls already on a percentage basis, just so I can't lose money in the trade now. And I went out of those calls. I mean, I don't want to be buying calls up 3% or 2.5% in this market. And I think that's where your head needs to be. I think that's how you need to think about it. That's how I think anyway. Do I think that we're going to roll? I have no idea. I know that I'm not buying the open. I know that I'm long and I'm not going to sell my longs. I'm going to sell some of them, the ones that technically I bought for a trade. Yet you're still in a downtrend. I mean, look, let's be really clear about this because I know I've switched my tune. And I know people are trying to figure it out. And what's fascinating is how angry, not this room, but the amount of anger that went on is fascinating to me. But you're there. You're there. Are you going to break? Maybe. Okay. What would be the first sign that you had a shot at breaking when you got above this higher high? I mean, that was a battleground, right? Bonk, bonk. We were 3-4 days there. Here, look. Okay. So, first mouse gets what? The trap. Second mouse gets what? The cheese. So maybe we're going to go, right? First mouse, boom. Second mouse, you thought it was going to go, boom. Okay. So, eventually this will break to the upside and you can push over it and then come right back through it after you flush everybody out. But closing over this, you have to close over a higher high. The first one that you could even suggest as a higher high is here, 330, right? So you need to move another 3%, which means stocks could move another 20% and sectors could move another 10% before this even kicks in. So you just have to be aware of that. Right? I mean, that's what you're dealing with. And then you just keep moving up the line. You get here to 347. Right? I mean, they're your levels, but could you break that? Yeah, you could. You could slice right through it. So you could slice right through it. I'm not going to tell you what to do today in regards to that, but eventually the market will go up. And the fact that the market's being bought ahead of this, to me, is really fascinating, frankly. So let's see what happens with it. But the dude, let's go. But CEG. So there you are. I mean, that's really hard to tell you not to buy. I mean, I don't know how great that quarter was, but my gosh, I mean, that's just like absolutely insane. And it's going again. That's really tough to buy here. If I was in it, I'd stay in it. I'd be using that as the pivot. You kind of have to use this as your stop, at least off the open. I'm not sure you want to do that. So that's going to be on you and how you're going to trade that, kind of go from there. So let's just see what else we have. I like that, the dude, Debazian. What do you got? HTGC. Yeah, I think that you're going to see some stability with the financials. I think we saw that on the last JP Morgan. HTGC. Hercules Capital. Yeah, I mean, that's setting up. That's setting up to go, right? This is what you're looking at. Here's your little handle. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd kind of wait. I mean, I'm 50 cents away, 40 cents away, and I rejected last time. So I'd probably wait unless you're going to scale into it, right? Buy a position, then buy the other half when it breaks. But I would wait. What do you think of WEBL? Let's take a look. Dow Jones Internet Bull. I don't know what's going on there, but look at that volume over the past 2 weeks. That's crazy. Like, that's all you're seeing is buying. So yeah, that's definitely of interest and something I would look at. It's definitely something I would be looking at, for sure. But you have to kind of watch those things and just make sure you just keep seeing volume come into that. That's interesting, Shane. Miguel, it's in the room. It took forever to process. The pre-market video is back in the room. It took forever to process today. It's why I was actually late doing this. I'm not really sure what the problem was, but it's out. I didn't really even have time to edit it. But for some reason, YouTube was just giving me a problem. But it is in there now. Sorry about that for taking so long. Any advice for someone working full-time, trying to go full-time trading? Set goals and understand where you are and the odds of it happening. So I think there's been two major studies done. I think one came in at 4%, one came in at 5% of people that trade that can make enough money to live off of. It's like 5% of traders can do it. So what you have to be willing to do is what 95% of people are not willing to do, right? So if you think about it from that perspective, it's not that people are inherently smarter. Some people have better gifts than others, but it's the work ethic and it's just time management and getting it down. But you have to understand that it's not like these people make it sound so simple. Oh, buy this. Oh, you got a banger. Oh, sell this, buy this option. Like, those kinds of people come and go. I've been around a long time, and that's not trading. That's gambling and speculating. So it depends on your system and what you're trying to do. But my advice would be to focus on equities. My advice would be to focus on smaller positions, indexes, things like that to start. Avoid options. Too many people are trying to trade options. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that have blown up accounts trading options, buying dollar options and stuff like that. They have no idea what they're doing. And they get some advice from somebody, and it's a shame. But that's what I would start with. And I would start that 95% of the people that are trying to do what you do don't make it, right? 20% make money at it, but only 5% can get to that point where they don't have to do anything else. So you have to think about that and be like, hey, what would 95% of the people not be willing to do? If you ask people in the room, Josh, like what I do and how long I've been doing it, that are in like the trading community, they'll tell you that you can just reach out to me anytime. I'm always looking at charts. I'm constantly outworking everybody. Planter red, UPS green. Yeah, I don't like Planter a lot, but I hope that helps, Josh. You're welcome to email me if you want to talk about it in greater detail. Let me just pop that out there again. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not really a fan of Planter. It's not my favorite name. But Josh, if you want to talk about it in greater detail, just email me there. When I have time, I'll definitely respond. I respond to everybody. It just takes me some time since it's me. So I don't like that Planter. UPST is going to crush people today, I think. I think they're just going to take people out. I really do. Like into earnings. I don't know what their earnings are going to be like. I mean, they got to write off those auto loans. I think that maybe that's what happened here. Finally, they wrote them off, or they depressed them. Like they just should have when they got those loans, they should have got out of that. Like that's not their business. Their business is we facilitate loans. Okay, well, if you facilitate loans, go and do that. Don't, do something else. It's like silly. So hold on one second. No, as well. Let's just keep going here. Okay. And get back to it. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Like that's a decent dividend. It's not great if you're trying to buy a dividend. Yeah, crude's coming out after CPI. You'll know with that crude, you'll know that crude oil report by the percentage of CPI and that move. People are like that good at it. Like they'll already be aware of that. But yes, it is definitely Wednesday. Oh, you're welcome, Jen. I would just avoid that we talked about. What are your thoughts on using SQQ as a hedge for my concentrated tech portfolio, mostly tech? I mean, why? You can. I mean, you can, Paul. Why wouldn't you just have puts or sell calls against the portfolio? Right? Like you have to be really careful with that, especially depending upon the names that you have. But you can, but I don't know why you would do SQQ and just not Qs. Just do more Qs is how I would do it. I don't know that I'd want to pay the SQQ. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I think more I'd be trying to do just as close to the NASDAQ as possible so that I can tweak it as I want. Like SQQ, yeah, I mean, you guess you can because you get the expense and the ratio. Dash, I didn't think Dash was that great. I thought Dash just had a short squeeze, but I would be really careful about, and you could just see the complete rejection from Friday after earnings. I'd be really careful shorting anything. I'd be really careful shorting anything here. And I really think that that's where you need to be and that's where your head needs to be. So, kind of focus on that and kind of go from there. But, that's definitely something that you have to think about, right? So let's just keep going. Yeah, I mean, you have to make a decision what you want to do there, Stuart. All right, I'm way behind here. Fuel cell. So let's just go here and then here, 430. I mean, until I'm over that, yeah, I mean, you're trying to do that this morning. Maybe it breaks through that. I mean, everyone's excited about this climate bill and they're looking for the next name to buy. I mean, the only name that I think makes any sense at this point is this ENPH. I think that makes the most sense on that bill because the way that you're setting up on the climate bill. I mean, I did really want to talk about that. I really haven't even gotten into it. And you're seeing things start to come in a little bit here. We should probably talk about that. So let's just, so straight down. So this could be what's going on. I don't have the tape in front of me right now. I'm not looking at it, but that could just simply be what's going on overseas. You know, I have to see, I'm gonna have to look at that and see why we're doing that, why we're dropping. But you are definitely coming in, right? You can all see that. So something's going on. We'll see how bad that gets. But it's definitely a reversal off the open. So something hit. Nvidia. Okay, so Nvidia missed numbers. So semis are going to come in. The whole market's going to come in. Yeah. So semis are going to get crushed here. Weaker gaming revenue. So you're going to see the market probably come in on that. And now you might bounce a little bit in some of these names because now we know why it's doing it, what it's doing. But Nvidia missing numbers is really bad. It's certainly not good. So you could just watch everything kind of start to come in a little bit here. Because if they're going to miss numbers, like some of these names are going to probably come in on that. Let me just see here. See what Net's doing. That kind of changes the whole tone of the conversation today. If you hold and you go up on Nvidia coming out with bad numbers, that's going to be very interesting. So that's going to be really interesting if that happens. But that's really bad. Really bad. And that they're not even close. Weaker gaming revenue, which means we knew this already. That we've seen these videos where they're selling those pieces. I'm sorry to get off topic, but this is important while we're talking about it. They're lowering guidance a lot. Like that's like a 20% haircut. Like that's not a small number, right? So you're at 6.7 versus 8.3. So you're cutting, 1.4. Wow, you're cutting 1.5. Yeah, you're cutting almost 20% of revenue. That's a haircut. That's a big haircut. I would avoid semis. I would avoid them. So yeah, that's going to fall through a cliff. So watch and see if you bounce and if you can hold. If you can hold on that, that's going to be very, very interesting. But I'm not so sure that you're going to be able to hold that. Morgan Stanley's raising their target on DraftKings. That's kind of interesting. But just keep watching what's going on here. Watch that first 15-minute bar, but that's a disaster. And you got to be really careful there. So let me just see something here. I'll just put that out there. And go from there. Yep. So this is still coming in. So it's going to be, I'd be very impressed if this market rallies today now on that news. That's like big news. That was the one thing that most people were concerned about, that they were going to have to cut. And it sure looks like they're going to. So let's just see what's going on here and see where we're at. But you might get some people playing this dead cat bounce a little bit, but we'll have to see. I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's questions today. I apologize. Let's just see. Let's get through. What's up, Terry? I would not be shorting. I would not be shorting that until that dividend's gone. April 15th. Let me try to get through these. Good day. Has to be a great earnings raise. That's what you want to look for. You want to look, Terry, for those kinds of names. I mean, that's what you want to be in, right? Did they raise guidance? Yes. If you're raising guidance, you want to start paying attention to them. I mean, just get really through, emphatically through a resistance line and take a look at it. So semis will get hit today. You might actually see more money go into biotech because of this, because they don't have to deal with it. Yeah, biotech hardly moved on that. Hardly moved on that. Nvidia, wow, what a disaster. That's going to go lower. I don't know how that doesn't drag the whole market down with it. Look at them just flushing that out. So, and again, I apologize. I'm not going to be able to get to everyone's questions. Please like this video. It helps immensely with the algorithm. Let's get to some of these. HRTX over 50% short float, earnings tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, they're the kinds of names you want to watch right now, man. They're going to move today. That's not going to slow down because of this. You know, it's not. You're not going to see that, you know, because of that. I would say this, you know, hold on one second here. AMD. Let's see. So we're already getting some of that back, right? We're not breaking that 15-minute mark yet. So let's just see that. Let me just see what's going on here with this. Okay. Oh. All right, let's keep going. Run. Yeah, I like run. I like that. I do. I like that. I think I still have this position in it, don't I? No, I've got out of some of that. No, but I still have. Oh yeah, yeah. So I got that starter. I like it. I mean, I think it should move on the news. So I do. I think it should move on the news. So I do like that a lot. Watch that today. If that hits a higher high, it's gone. And today's the kind of day you could do that. Like that could really run today, right? Like look at that level. So I do. I like that. Man, they sucked the air right out of my trade, didn't they? Glad I hedged. So yeah, there it goes. So I think that if you're long, if you're in a fund and you're long this, you're blowing it out. You're not going to play games with it. You're just like, that's enough. Netflix. I like Netflix. You know, I like it here from a valuation standpoint because you're starting to see people just like buy it a little bit. Like I'm not crazy about it, like as this huge trade, but you know, they're coming out with products that aren't that, they're not that bad. I mean, they're really not. So here, look, get rid of this, get rid of this. I mean, like I just watched that Sandman, put that on, like that's really good. So they're having some products that are really, really good. Technically, I'd just watch that 227.64 level. You've had a real problem with that. You broke the one, but you're unable to get above the beginning of what was that bear flag right here. And I'm just watching that like a hawk. To be honest, that's really where my level is. What's going on, man? Cloud afar. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to get to all this, but I'm going to try to get to as much of it as I can. Okay, so stay with me 1 second. Go from there. All right. So let me just keep going here. Yeah, let me put the VIX chart up again. People got so angry. It's really kind of funny. Where were we? Cloud. I like cloud. I'd be careful today now with Nvidia. Nvidia's throwing me off my entire game. To be honest with you, like what I thought was going to happen today is probably, you know, not going to happen. So let me just throw this out there and give me a second. And let's just see here. Okay, sorry. Lift, the chart looks great. Cloud, I would watch that level afar. I'd be really careful off the open. That can go parabolic. Siga, that can just go parabolic, man. Brian, look at this. I mean, just look at that. Like, and you're flipping it this morning, right? You're flipping it this morning. So, you know, that can definitely go. That can definitely go. But just watch that. So BKKP. Yeah, let's take a look at that. I don't like that wick at all, Sean. Not crazy about that wick. Oh, that's good, Laura. What about shorting? I'd be really careful doing any shorts here. Look, here's what you want to see. Okay, you're getting another test today. Okay, so let me just walk you through the test. Okay, the market's still up, and the leading semiconductor company in the world just came out and pre-announced bad earnings, and you're thinking of shorting stocks, right? So I'll just say that again. The leading semiconductor company in the world just missed earnings. It's down 7%, right? And we're talking about shorting. I'd be real careful here, man. Like, I'm just telling you, this is one of those days where you could just see things like really just kind of melt up a little bit if we don't fall apart. Like, I'm just going to tell you that. Like, just be really very cognizant of what's going on here, because this can get kind of crazy. So, yeah, Nvidia pre-announced really bad too, Matt. Like really bad. We're going to go over it in a minute. There it is, Robert. Thank you. Yeah, that was just it's going to probably get worse. And AMD just dumped. The whole market will. Stuart, those letters go out. There's a here. Let me show you this. It's only open for like another 12 hours. Then I'm going to close it down. Again, I keep it small on purpose, but if you want to see it, you're welcome to. But it explains everything right here. Hold on, let me just get that and show you. I actually should be pinning this for as many times as I'm asked this question. Let me just pull this up and I'll do it real quick here and drop it in so that you can see it. So if you want to, there it is. There's the link. Just click on that link and I'll pin the message and then you can see what's going on there. But I think it's only open until like midnight tonight. And then I shut it down again. It's just me and I don't want it packed in there so that I can answer everyone's questions individually. So I hope that helps. What's going on, Christopher? Yeah, dude, that's bad. Like that's really bad. What did I say? 20%? Yeah. It's not ideal like at all. So just FYI, like it's definitely something that you want to watch. The fact that it's actually trading up is really interesting. So I'd be really careful shorting here. I really, really careful. So just watch it, watch everything. All right. I don't know if you're going to bounce or you're not going to bounce. Like if this Nvidia goes positive on the day on that news, you better stay out of the way, in my opinion. But that's just one man's opinion. All right, I'm going to have to jump here. I apologize. I'm not going to be able to get through everyone. Hopefully the people that are in the trading room just ask me again. Net I like a lot. VND got it down. Nvidia got it down. Yeah, I saw that. QQ gap. Yeah, it did. I'm still long that. I would not be buying puts on this market. You don't know. You have no idea what's going to happen with that CPI, dude. You have no idea. If I crunch numbers, like I do it, like I actually try to figure it out is like a little puzzle for me. I think it's going to be good. Like it's going to be like positive for the market, but I'd be really careful. I mean, I'm long a ton of Amazon. You're trying to short a stock that just came out and crushed and raised its revenue. It's not something I'd be stepping in front of, especially liquidity in large names. So I'd be real careful there, JD. I could be wrong. I mean, it won't be the first time. I mean, maybe you'll be right. I wish you well with the trade. But we'll see. So we'll go from there. But all right, I'm going to have to jump. I apologize for not getting to everybody today, but within the Nvidia news, and I had an issue earlier with loading in the video. But have a great day, everybody. Trade to win. And please like this. It helps me.